just one where it just looked like a star. I was out in Wyoming, went camping. It was, got done telling stories around the campfire. All was good. And, I could have been dreaming because I was so young. I don't know if this was actually a real experience. Sometimes you look back like, was I dreaming then? But basically, it just looked like a star. It looked like a star, and it was moving at crazy high speeds and making 90-degree turns at just insane speeds. And didn't look like a crazy craft or anything. It just looked like a star. And so, I've seen my stuff myself, but I just can't jump to the conclusion that therefore there's all these crazy interdimensional beings. There's all these different races of all these beings elsewhere. They're coming here. There's all these packs. There's some with the government. It's like it's going a little far
Mm.
for sure. I think that's a narrative that's sort of they they want the masses to sort of go with this whole green men in the government thing, and maybe none of it's true at all. There's
Have
no
you
contact with anyone at all.
have you seen the TikTok video of the Navy pilots chasing that whatever that object is?
Sure. Again, yeah, I mean, again, I'll agree that there's like an object. There's objects. Okay, great. So we have evidence of like some fast moving objects. And that doesn't mean again that there's all these different races of aliens and that they're coming over from bajillions of miles and light years away in their super craft that they're able to just withstand those speeds and interdimensional travels. Yeah, we have objects, we have people chasing these objects, maybe catching them and glimpses of them. That's it, man. Like that's as most as I'm able to admit. Like, okay, what is that? I can't extrapolate anything
Mm.
from that. And then furthermore, all of the abductions and stuff, that's basically the other strongest proof for any of this alien stuff. Okay, sure. I've even had a dream once where it was like being abducted. Um, maybe, dude, but again, that's just all anecdotal like stuff. It's not
Yeah.
empirical.
Well,
It's
so
not.
the United States has had these missile interceptors, like these unmanned aerial, like I guess not really vehicles, but these like these they're kind of like missiles, but they're a little different. Like they have thrusters on all sides, and they can do these crazy 90-degree maneuvers and fly way faster than like the fastest missiles. And it's like so we've had those and we've been testing those for many decades now. Yeah, but they And then can't come to a complete stop, and then go from the complete stop to 2,000 miles per hour automatically. So
Yeah.
that's actually, there's no reason that they can't do that. well, yeah, it's the laws of science, the laws of physics. They can't do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they would
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
actually defy the laws of physics because inertia, the
Yeah,
very
you would have
laws
to
of
have
inertia
anti-gravitic.
doesn't allow it.
Well, you
Right,
would have
you'd
to.
have to have some sort of anti-gravity
Yeah, you'd have to.
type of
Yeah,
uh,
that's
technology.
right. Because to be able to go at those high speeds and stuff and travel, you'd have to have some sort of anti-gravity to counteract the G forces and stuff. You'd be pulling. It'd be insane. There's no way. And again, dude, listen to this. It's just the idea of even a craft traveling at those speeds. You're talking. It's just some of the most magnificent shit ever. It's just some of the most fantastical, like bullshit ever. Like think about such a craft traveling through space, like at those speeds, and it's just none of it makes sense. Like, how would it even break?
Yeah. Um,
Like,
so
it would basically fall apart. Any vessel was made out of that going that fast would basically just fall apart
well,
too.
that's the thing, like, if you look at the acceleration rates of the rockets that go into space, and then you consider that because it's unmanned, it doesn't have to have, a human, and it doesn't have to have a cockpit, and then, like, they have like, top secret materials that are stronger than what you would think, and then so if it were built just right, it's like it could be going extremely fast, go almost to a dead stop, hover, accelerate the other way, like, just like what would seem like unreal, like you couldn't like, I mean, they can do things that you don't really realize that they can do, like, they're just now, like, putting out a new missile that goes, like, 15 times the speed of any other missile.
It would have to for
Now,
me to believe. It would also. I'm just real quick. and I'll let you go. I know I'm hogging the mic real quick, but it would for like think about even just again. So okay, so they can have this craft, but think about just traveling through space and what we're told. There's all these like asteroid belts. There's all these like thick clouds of just matter and stuff. There's these belts, and it's like, dude, you going at those speeds, you'd have to just, what like at some point you're just gonna get like hit with all these like you'd have to have like some kind of force field too combined with anti-gravitic combined with like some just crazy material that like is going to be able to it's just it all amounts to just like okay yeah it's possible for sure
Yeah,
they
I'd
might have that
Um,
technology.
I'd
uh,
have to agree with scientists because the thing is, many of these objects that are reported being seen, they actually transform. They can morph into other objects, and they've been seen actually moving through solid rock and penetrating water as if without any, splash or anything. It's as if they're simply morphing into the water and coming out of the water without any effect on the water itself. So this many ufologists are beginning to no longer believe that these things are actual material vessels, that they're not made of natural material. Uh, Ufologists are beginning to move over to the theory that these things are spiritual in nature, not physical.
oh well.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, have a good
That's
one, guys. I gotta go.
oh, peace out material.
Have a good one.
Yeah, that seems a little bit more plausible in my opinion that that basically what we see in the heavens and these lights and these fantastical events and stuff that we see and the mechanisms that govern the heavens. This is just my personal belief are basically that they're in this like etheric like heavenly realm. They are deities, spirits, angels, sonoluminescent resonant structures. They could be deceptions. They could be all sorts of things other than terra firma planets and in these solar systems. It could be a numerous different array of things that we're looking at um, when we look up at the sky. It could just be just a glorious painting that just moves, and it's a glorious timepiece that just is just made to look so magnificent and have all these glorious glimmers and glutes and explosions and supernovas and all these just cool looking things. And just is any it could be all just unobtainable. We can never go there. So I'll give you that. You could have planet Mars and planet Uranus and the sun could be a giant ball of gas, but we're never going to leave this realm. There's no way. It's just that we're not meant to just go about the glorious heavens and move around. So I think, I just think that all these space programs and everything is just a massive deception.
Yeah, and also if you take a look at the reports of alien abductions and you compare them to the documented cases of demonic possession, you'll notice there's similarities between the two. Um, um, there's one documentary where it shows that the individuals that are, when they're experiencing the so-called alien abduction, if they call upon the name of Jesus or if they mention Jesus, um, uh, either the vision or the whatever is occurring immediately stops. It's like the alien abduction ceases to continue to take place, or
Yeah,
there
dude.
is a scoffing at the name of Jesus by the alien entities. So I believe these alien entities are actually demonic beings.
Yeah,
So you're
yeah.
saying
I,
that
I
this is kind of like a sign?
go ahead. No, I'm sorry, Storm. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just asking. Like you guys are saying that these are kind of like signs that there is something above, something higher power.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah. Um, Yeah, I mean, I tend to think that yeah, there really are no aliens, or what we tend to believe are as aliens are in fact what Catholic here was just saying. They could be in fact demonic spirits, and that there are no vicious, aliens per se that are coming from galaxies away from other places to like fiddle with our brains and stuff. It's more of this like deception and sort of like demonic deception too, sort of thing. Does that make
Yeah, I
sense?
can see that.
I don't know. I mean, it all gets really interesting. I was talking when it's interesting that they call alcohol spirits. When you take substances and stuff, you do open your body to these sort of different realms, and you kind of open your body to be sort of suggested. And I think that could have. I mean, there is more of a spiritual side to everything that we do in this life. I don't know.
Yeah, and why is it that some individuals, when they take these drugs or a combination of drugs, why do they have a shared hallucination? Why are they seeing the exact same thing?
I mean,
It's a good
it
question.
could oh, sorry.
Nope. All you go ahead.
Okay. It could be that, like, because people's mind work the same way.
That wouldn't make any sense. I mean, for example, it's a specific thing. It's like for example, I know of one case where it was a Buddha statue that was rising into the air that both of them saw. Why would they see a Buddha statue rising into the air? Both of them, because that's a specific thing. They could have seen any statue. They could have seen a statue of Jesus Christ rising into the air, or any of the other, reported deities on earth. From other religions. So why specifically a Buddha statue rising into the air, and why did they see it rising into the air? Both of them. It's as if they're actually seeing something. Uh, and I do think that when individuals take these drugs, there is a connection whereby they are actually communicating or in a way with these demonic entities. In fact, many of them have said that there's otherworldly beings that are actually trying to communicate with them when they're on these particular drugs.
Well, that could also be why they're communicating when we're on the drugs, is because we'll think it's an hallucination, and we'll be like, "Oh man, that was crazy." That's just a theory for that.
Uh,
What's up?
what drugs specifically?
Well,
Well, I
I
don't
know
know. I
it's
mean,
DMT. DMT is one of them.
yeah, you hear this mention about DMT. A lot of people seem to resonate. They see these clockwork elves. You hear a lot of that, and sort of these geometric patterns and stuff. Again, I mean, when you take these substances, you open yourself up to these to be suggested. Very suggestible and very malleable. Um, and oftentimes we see sort of different personalities emerge from people when under the influence of whatever substance they tend to be on, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I know even foods and stuff, we see this. So you know could be more of a natural thing too. But um I don't know, is there a reason why everyone seems to see the clockwork elves in specific? I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen them, and I haven't really taken DMT, so I don't know, but that seems to be sort of a cohesive thing they all seem to see. I don't know.
Right, that and snakes. A lot of them report seeing a large number of snakes.
Yeah, man. But those aliens, they're gonna take us one day. They'll come with their crafts and they'll take us away to their planets. We'll all be seated across the universe, and yeah, maybe that's the end goal of the alien agenda. I don't know.
Well, there's millions and probably billions of theories,